Between the Kanuri in the east and the Songhai in the west, and stretching from the Niger-Benue junction to the desert south of Agades, lies the home of the Hausa-speaking peoples of Central Sudan. We call them Hausa-speaking people because the Hausa are not of one tribe or race. They originated from the mingling of different tribal and racial groups of Negro farmers and nomadic Berbers from the desert. These people have been molded into something like a nation by the possession of a common language and a common culture. But in reality, there is no Hausa race or nation. The word Hausa refers more to the language than to the people. Today, the Hausa language is spoken over a wide area in Sudan as far west as Timbuktu and as far east as Wadi. But in northern Nigeria, the homeland of the Hausa, it is spoken by over 30 million people. The Hausas are concentrated mainly in the northern part of Nigeria, as well as the adjoining southeastern Nigeria. They also populate part of other countries including Cameroon, Ghana, Chad, Togo, Senegal, Côte d'Ivoire, Sudan, and Gabon. The Hausa-speaking peoples founded several small city-states in Nigeria, which were important to the history of Central Sudan. The origin of this state is obscured by legend. According to one popular legend, Abu Yazidu, also known as Bayajida in some books, the son of the king of Baghdad, quarreled with his father and fled. He journeyed to Borno and thence to Daura, where he killed a snake which had long prevented people from drawing water from a well. The queen of Daura was so pleased with this man's courage and bravery that she married him. Abu Yazidu and the queen of Daura had a son called Bawu. Bawu himself had 7 sons who founded the 7 Hausa states called Hausa-Bakwa, which include Baura, Kano, Rano, Zaria, Kastina, Biram, and Gobi. Later, 7 more states such as Samfara, Kebbi, Nope, Gwari, Yauri, Kwaradafa, and Ilorin were founded by those sons Bawu had by other women. Hence, these states are called Hausa Banza or bastard states. This tradition is common all over Hausa land. Probably its objective is to create a myth of the racial and cultural unity of the Hausa-speaking people. Nevertheless, from the legend, we can infer that the original state of Daura was founded by invaders from the northeast, probably of Berber origin, as his name. Abu Yazidu might have been a desert Berber chieftain who invaded Daura, and the snake he killed might have been the king of Daura himself, whose widow he later married. However, the tradition suggests further that the Hausa states were founded over a long period of time, probably between AD 600 and 900, around the same period that Kanem was founded. The Hausa were originally pagans or idol worshippers, but in the 14th century, during the reign of Sarkin Yaji Ali, who ruled from 1349 to 1385 AD, Muslim missionaries from Mali came to Kano. Yaji and many of his subjects accepted Islam and a mosque was built in Kano. In course of time, Islam spread to other Hausa states. Katsina was the last to accept Islam. It was converted by a Muslim missionary from Egypt in 1493. But Islam was slow to take root among the Hausa, for often the rulers and their subjects went back to their old pagan ways. It was in the 19th century, during the Fulani Jihad led by Uthman Dan Fodio, that paganism was swept away and Islam became established in most of Hausa land. Even so, there is today a group of Hausa people, the Maguzawa, who are not Muslims. This shows the persistence of the old pagan religion despite the great influence of Islam. The introduction of Islam profoundly influenced the government, society, and culture of Hausa land, and gave the people the Arabic alphabet through which Hausa was reduced to a written language, which in turn helped in the propagation of Islam. The Hausa states were military weak, generally speaking, for they never built empires. They were never politically united. They are largely independent and were often fighting amongst themselves. Thus, their military system was oriented more towards the defensive than the offensive. The town was usually surrounded by long, huge mud walls. The outer walls of Kanu, which have lasted about 400 years, measure 10 to 17 meters high and 18 kilometers long. The walls enclosed some farmland. In times of attack, the people in the surrounding villages took refuge in the city where they would be safe and not go hungry. The lack of unity among the Hausa states was a source of great weakness. It exposed them to conquest by other Sudanese states at various times. In 1513, Askia the Great conquered Kano, Zaria, and Katsina. Similarly, in the 16th century, the Mais of Borno extended their sway over Hausa land, and most Hausa states paid tribute to Borno. Then, early in the 19th century, the rule of the Hausa kings was overthrown by the Fulani Jihad, and Fulani emirs and aristocrats became the new rulers of the Hausa states. Thanks so much for watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get upcoming videos faster. You can also do well to follow us on all our social media pages as we post daily historical facts, summed from a series of research all over the world. Thanks again.